PlayStation 4 Pro. Now usually I would say hello, but this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it will be my last console review for either a while or forever, because I want to start moving towards technology stuff. So let's get straight into the PlayStation 4 review, because I have got so many things to talk about the PlayStation 4 Pro. So let's get started. Chapter 1. Introduction. So, for this I'm just going to be talking about the basics of the PlayStation 4. So, the PlayStation 4 Pro can run 4K 60fps on some games, others can run 4K 30fps, and others can just run 1080p 60 or 30fps. It really does depend. Now, I'm going to be putting these into chapters, because there is a lot to talk about with the PlayStation 4 Pro. The PlayStation 4 Pro as well is quite a quiet-ish console. It's not too loud compared to other consoles such as the original PlayStation 4, which I will talk about in Chapter 2. But the PlayStation 4 is just overall a good console, but it is lacking with some of the features, which I will get into in future chapters. So let's get straight into Chapter 2. Chapter 2. The PlayStation 4 Pro versus its counterparts. So, the PlayStation 4 Pro has also got a PlayStation 4 Slim and a PlayStation 4. That is the PlayStation 4 lineup. Now, with the PlayStation 4, I would not recommend it to everyone. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, because even if it's cheap, I would still not recommend it, because the hard drive was weak. I constantly found that the hard drive was getting corrupted all the time, and it was very loud as well. It was the loudest thing ever. It's louder than my gaming laptop, it's louder than all the consoles I've owned, it's louder than the Xbox 360, which is quite a shocker, to be honest, considering that some of the Xbox 360 Slims you find are incredibly loud. The PlayStation 4 Slim is the quietest console that I've ever seen, with it being so quiet that I've not been able to tell if it's on or off. That's how quiet it is. The PlayStation 4 Slim can also only play 1080p at 60fps or 30fps. And the PlayStation 4 Pro, like I said, plays 4K 60fps to 30fps. And the PlayStation 4 Pro can be found anywhere between £100 to £120 UK or $100 to $150 US. The PlayStation 4 Slim can be found anywhere between $50 to $100 US or £50 to £80 UK. And the PlayStation 4 Pro can be found anywhere between £30 to £50 or $50 to $70 US. So, yeah. Now then, let's talk about Chapter 3. The PlayStation 4 Pro versus Xbox One X. So, when it comes to the PlayStation 4 Pro, its rival is the Xbox One X. So, that begs the question, which is better? The PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox One X? Now, they both have their pros and cons, and I do own both of them, so I'm able to give a fair review, with the PlayStation 4 Pro having more expensive games than the Xbox One X. And what I mean by this is, Skyrim for the Xbox One is £4 in the UK, whereas the US, Skyrim is £4 on the Xbox One, while on the PlayStation, it's £8 here. That is double the price. Not to mention as well, games are a lot more expensive with, like, the used market. So, it is quite pricey with that. However, another pro to the PlayStation 4 is that you are able to do some firmware stuff with it, aka jailbreak. And that is a really good positive, because you're able to play games like Bloodborne for free, Horizon Zero Dawn for free, Horizon Forbidden West for free, and a lot of other games as well. Which is honestly just a really good pro, but it is incredibly hard to do these sort of firmware stuff. Well, not only that, but it is incredibly hard to find a older firmware. So your best bet is to leave a PlayStation just not touched for quite a while, and possibly just leave it offline. And because of this, you will be able to play, like, modded stuff, and also you will be able to play a Bloodborne port of 60fps, which some people have done, on the firmware. I think it's Gold Hen. So that's a positive about PlayStation. While Xbox just seems to be a more budget-friendly option, with Xbox also being able to play Xbox 360 games, which is something that the PlayStation doesn't have. So if you want to play some of those older games, such as like Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2, you can't on the PlayStation 4, whereas Xbox, you can. So that is a big pro with Xbox. Now, there is another thing that I do want to mention with the PlayStation 4 Pro. That will be in Chapter 4. So let's get straight to Chapter 4. Chapter 4, Content Creation and Recording. So, with this title, you're probably wondering, wait, content creation? Now, I do want to talk a lot about this because with PlayStation, it is the easiest thing to do. Content creation is by far the easiest thing to do on a PlayStation compared to an Xbox, because the PlayStation 4 has a built-in video editing software, and recording only takes one step. And that one step is double-click the share button, and it just records for you. Up to, I'm pretty sure it's 4K, 60 FPS, or it could be 1080p, 60 FPS, but it records either way for an hour, which is really good. Not only that, but I'd saved the best part for last. With it, you can record multiple times, not have a single issue, import all those clips that you've recorded into the video editing software, which isn't too bad of a software. You do need to get a USB stick and like do all the basic video editing stuff. So if you're a content creator, you will need yourself a storage bit where you have all your music and PNGs and GIFs. So similar to what I'm doing in a way, so you will need that still, but it is just a lot easier and a lot better for just people who are on a budget, so that's just really good. Whereas Xbox is a pain in the ass to record. So I would highly recommend PlayStation if you're a content creator, because Xbox is just a mess of its own. You have to do so much just to record up to an hour. And even then you can't guarantee the clip if you have unstable Wi-Fi, because with me, I struggled recording on the Xbox One. So, yeah. Now then, let's get on to Chapter 5, because Chapter 5 is going to be an interesting one. Chapter 5, Controller Connectivity. Now, I did talk a lot of good stuff about the PlayStation 4 just now with video editing, but I do want to talk about how awful the controller connectivity is. Controller? God, my English is getting worse and worse by the day. But no, the controller... Oh my god, my brain. I'm sorry. The controller connectivity. So, the controller connectivity is horrendous, with sometimes you being able to just constantly buy new wires, because with most controllers you either plug in a dongle and it connects, or you plug in... Well, no, you don't plug in anything. There is like a built-in feature to the top of the Xbox controller where you can just easily connect. For the PlayStation, that is not the case. You have to figure out how to reset the controller. Once you've done that, then you have to plug in the Xbox controller, which you have to find the right USB, not USB-C, it is a micro USB cable. So you have to find the right micro USB cable to plug in, and once you've done that, then you're able to connect it. If you have a bad cable, or a small cable, you cannot reset it, which does suck a lot. So yeah, I did have a lot of issues with that when trying to record some of the footage, because halfway I wanted to connect my PlayStation 4 controller to the laptop that I have to play Castle Crashers, and when I tried connecting it back, I had a lot of issues, so yeah, not good. Now, Chapter 6 is going to be somewhat similar to what I've said now, so let's get to Chapter 6. Chapter 6, PlayStation 4 controller plus controller battery. So with this, I'm going to be talking about the controller, and oh my god, the PlayStation 4 controller is amazing. I love the design of this. In fact, I love the design so much that I would consider possibly getting a second hand just in case this one breaks. or just something similar, because I love this controller design. The feel, everything about it, I love. I love this controller so much that I might actually just buy a bulk of PlayStation 4 controllers, just in case this one gets stick drift. Which, speaking of which, I have not received any stick drift at all with the time that I've used this, and I've used this for about 100 hours by now, and that's about an estimate because I've not used this too much, and I've only used this to play Red Dead Redemption 2, Bloodborne, and a couple of demo games, which is what you're currently seeing. A good portion of these are demo games. The only games that I actually do have owned are Horizon Zero Dawn, Bloodborne, and Red Dead Redemption 2. While the rest of these, which I do want to talk about later, are just demos. So, yeah. Also, the battery isn't exactly the best. The battery lasts anywhere between 5 to 10 hours, so I'm having to constantly charge it compared to Xbox, where you can just buy rechargeable batteries and just chuck them in pretty much. So, yeah, it's pretty much basic like that. Now, I do want to get to Chapter 7, which is online. So, let's get straight into it. Chapter 7, online. So, with online, there's a lot of things that I do want to talk about. So, with online multiplayer, you can pretty much buy PlayStation Essential for 1 month for the same price as Xbox. I'm trying to think. I think it's Essential or Xbox Core. It's the cheapest Xbox pass you can get, and the Xbox cheapest pass that you can get and PlayStation Essential, they're the exact same price, but you are getting more games with Xbox compared to PlayStation. So Xbox is better in a cheaper term. However, PlayStation you can get yearly subscriptions, while Xbox you can't, making PlayStation the cheaper term, well, cheaper in the long run. So what should you get if you want to play online? Well, PlayStation, because it is so much cheaper. Like, it is ridiculously cheaper. So instead of spending $360 a year for Ultimate Edition or some like stupid price like that, you can just spend about £60 to £80 UK or anywhere between $80 to $100 US for the Essential tier, which just grants you the access to play online, which isn't too bad to be fair, because if you think about it, it's about what, £8 to £10 or dollars US, so it's not too bad, I guess, but still, like, it's meh, I guess that's the best way of explaining it. So it is quite cheap in the long run, so that's all I can say about online. So let's get to the conclusion. So yeah, Chapter 8, Conclusion. So with the conclusion, I also did forget to mention that with Xbox you cannot play demo games. I haven't really seen any demo games, and the PlayStation you can play a bunch of demo games, so if you want to try out a game you can play the demo and see if you like it. This is, what, Resident Evil 2, you've got Doom 2016, you've got Sword Art Online, Fatal Bullet, you've got Devil May Cry, so you've got a good portion of games that you can play for the demo. So yeah, this is pretty much it. So get a PlayStation 4 Pro if you want cheaper online, you like the controller design, all of your friends have PlayStation, exclusives, or if you're a content creator. And if you want to get like a cheaper PlayStation, I recommend the PlayStation Slim because A, it's quieter, and B, if you don't have a 4K TV, you can always get a PlayStation 4 Slim, sorry. So yeah, you can get a PlayStation 4 Slim because it is cheaper, you can play 1080p, so if you don't have a 4K TV, it would be good for that. And also, it is somewhat similar performance with the PlayStation 4 Pro, except you don't get that 4K benefit. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any video ideas, let me know down in the comments, because I will be doing the 2 video ideas that I have been recommended which is the Chloris Model O review and the Viper Mini review. And also I've got 2 videos planned after that as well. So I'm pretty much just stacking video ideas just so I don't run out of content to make. So if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to watch past and future content because I'm trying to improve as a content creator. I'm not really big, I'm kind of a small content creator, as you can see with my subscribers and my views, and I try to please as many people as possible because that is what I want to do, just make a decent amount of people happy and just try my best to be the best I can be. Anyways, have a great day and enjoy.